Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of the Scientist Reverse Grid League here in the Einstein League on Fridays at 8:45. We're back with a new season, with a whole new calendar. Of course, Imola, Portimao involved, and at the end of the season, Jeddah too. But tonight we start here at Singapore. The second race will be at Mexico. But before we move to the Sunshine Country and the tequila, we have to get some laps in here at Singapore. And as we can see, there are a few drops of rain, and rain around Singapore is a never good sign for a comfortable race. To explain everyone who is new to the Scientist Reverse Grid League, just a little insight to the formats. Because this is the first race, everyone will do a one-shot qualifying, which will determine the grid order. From the end of race 1 onwards until the end of the season, we will have a reverse grid, which means that the driver who finishes last will start on pole position for the next race. It's very important to finish last. If you DNF or you get disqualified from a race, you're automatically starting at the back for the next race to get points and to also maybe claim a better position for the next race. But here, with one shot quali, only the fastest guys will be at the top. And as you can see with Nick, he's on the soft compound of tires, as almost everyone I think is, although there's a little bit of rain. Nick losing time here, Casto in the lead at the moment. Let's jump to Casto. Only a small gap ahead of Rob. So Casto in the lead right now, already 5 DNFs from that qualifying in Eskimo, Rawson, Chappie, Wisbon and Spooner. And Rob now is a little bit quicker than Casto. Walterby in the mix too. Very, very close between these three. Casto just losing the lead against Walterby. Last corner, very tricky in these conditions. And Walterby gets it. Walterby on pole position for the first race here at Singapore in front of Casto, Rob, Professor Zoo, Nick Yaw, Paul, Scientist, Moshe Mumram, Jordan, Nico, Geman and Dicunia. Walterby, the champion from last season, just proving his value here around Singapore in getting the first and only pole position that you can earn by getting a good quality in here at Singapore in the first race of the season. So he's just continuing where he left off last season. Here's your grid. Walterby starting on pole position, behind him Casto, then Rob, followed by Professor Zoo, Nick, Yaw in P6, and Yaw is starting on mediums. Could be a crucial tactical move from him. Paul in P7, Scientist P8, Moshe P9, Mumram P10, Dirt on P11, Nico P12, and then we have Geman, Dicunia, who DNF or got disqualified. Eskimo Ross and Chappie Wisbon Spooner didn't get a time in. So this could be really, really exciting for our race here at Singapore. I see that you guys put in some things in the comment section. I'll try to keep track of that while commentating. We got some fans here for Rawson, for Mumram, for Nico, and for Casto spinning, of course. Well, let's see how that will play out here. You can see now that it's not raining anymore, so maybe that decision by Yaw to qualify on mediums could be a good one. He's doing the alternate strategy The only one in the top 10. Everyone else starting on softs. Let's see if he can make that work. I'm excusing myself in advance for maybe going off mic a little bit. I still have a little bit of a cold, so that means I have to cough sometimes, and I don't want to interrupt anything by just coughing out loud into the mic, so I'm just going to go on mute for that moment. So don't be that irritated, just look over it. That's it. Before the race starts, we have our classic formation lap. We'll also be leading the pack this year, this season. He was in the Alpine together with Rob. Now it's completely mixed. Walter in the McLaren, Casto in the Alpine, Rob in the Mercedes now. Professor Zhu, who was driving in Newton, now in Einstein, in the Haas. We got Nick in the Williams. We got Jon the Alfa Romeo, who was in the Ferrari last season. Paul as Walter B's teammate in P7 Scientist in the Aston Martin in P8. They're all warming up the tyres. Speaking of tyres, take a closer look. We have Yor in P6 of course on mediums. Everyone else in the top 10 on softs. Durdan, Nico, Raman on mediums. Ticunia trying the soft tyres from the beginning on. Eskimo going on to hards. Ross on mediums, Champion Wisdom softs, and Spoon and P19 also mediums. We'll also take a closer look at the penalties during the race and the pit stops, especially around Singapore. The walls are very, very close and the grip level is not the highest. We'll also take a look at the telemetry so you can see how much ERS is left, and of course at the full track map so you can follow your favorite driver on track to see where he is at the moment, especially regarding pit stop strategies. And that's it for the moment regarding settings. The guys are on the formation lap. The field is spread pretty widely. We have Spoon and P19 just at the end of sector 2, and Walter B almost at the last corner, so this could be critical at the start regarding tyre temperature. But yeah, these guys are experienced enough to create gaps and to close gaps. But yeah, Spooner and Wisburn just around the penultimate corner. Now the AI takes over for the last corner. Walter B now in his grid box, and Spooner just coming around the last corner. Following up the field. It's the first race of season 5 and we have 5 red lights going out right now. And Walter B is going. Seems like he's winning the start. Castro has to defend against Rob early. Oh! And while doing that, he's going down the inside against Walter B. Already very hard driving there. Very competitive. Walter B winning the start side by side. Walter B and Castro there. Down the long straight. Let's see who uses more ERS. But Castro and Rob are attacking Walter B, and there's Nick too. Castro gaining the lead, and Walter B losing big time down to P3. Has Nick on his left now, attacking him. He's having the inside for the next corner. He's attacking the inside. No respect to the former champion, or to the actual champion right now. They're attacking him, they hunt him down, and Walter B has to be very careful not to lose another position, which he does against Professor Zhu. So kind of a nightmare for Walter B, the champion here in the Einstein League, going from P1 down to P5. Has his teammate SFR Paul now behind him, who gained 1 position at the start. Moshe P7, your P8, Haman P9. We'll take a closer look at the position changes. As we can see, everyone at the top gained 1 or 2 positions. Walterby lost 4 down to P5. Paul gained 1, Moshe gained 2, Yor lost 2. Herman gained 4 positions. Scientist down by 2, and Wispen coming down the field from P18 to P11. Nico in the wall. Nico is in the wall. There's someone with him. Mumram. Nico and Mumram have a little coming together, the Haas and the Ferrari, which results in a DNF. Sorry, DNF for Mumram and a virtual safety car. And Nico has a lot of damage. His wing is completely gone. He has to pit now on the virtual safety car. He's not pitting. Oh, now he's pitting. Yeah, okay, that was cheeky. So yeah, but no one else is pitting. As we see Eskimo in P17. Last at the moment, but of course he's on hard, so why would he pit right now? Spooner gained 3 positions, Chappie gained 2, Durlan lost 3. D'Cunha gained 1 from P14 up to P13, but we gotta stick with the top guys here with Castor, Rob, Nick, Zoo and Walterby. We have green flags again, racing continues, and we have a drive-through penalty for Nico. Absolute nightmare for him, a crash, a pit stop, and then a drive-through coming out of the pits. Horrible scenario for him. Yellow flag, sector 2, sector 3. But green again, maybe someone just went off track. I can't see who it was at the moment. I think it was Kerman, who lost a few positions here, who's going down to P17 now. Yeah, he has damage to the left side of his wing. So Herman with damage, he must have crashed somewhere. Casto leading the pack in P1 ahead of Rob, Nick, Zoo and Walterby, who's now trying to stabilize within the race and attack again. Yor is coming into the pits like Herman. Maybe Yor also has damage. Yeah, that's correct. He gets his wing changed and he gets the hard tires on. Castor still in the lead. Rob behind yellow flags. I think that's Nico. That's Nico who took the exit line there, rejoining the track safely. Staying here at the front of these guys. Close battle between P1 and P6. Only around 3 seconds between these 6 guys. Then kind of a big gap to Scientist in P7, 4.4 seconds. Maybe that was caused by Herman, but that's pure speculation. Let's see if Scientist has damage to his wing. Well, you can't see it. Sometimes you can only feel it when you're driving, but at the moment it seems like he has no damage. Just in P7, a few seconds behind, followed by Wispen and Rawson, and D'Cunha very close behind Rawson. Let's keep a closer look at that battle. Only a few tens between these 2 guys. Castle with the fastest lap of the race. The gap to Rob is 1 second and a bit, and we have a pit stop. I think that's Wispen. We also have yellow flags in sector 3. That's an Aston Martin, and that's Durlan, I think. That is Durlan. He has no wing. Moshe coming into the pits too. Durlan no wing. That means he has to pit too. So a few pit stops now. Wisben, Moshe, Durlan will pit. Eskimo gaining some positions here, up to P12 already. We have some changes here between Nick and Professor Zoo, and it's getting pretty hot here. We got Nick attacking Professor Zoo, side by side, both McLarens behind. And of course, you can't go 3 wide, because this is fucking Singapore. This is not Silverstone or some wide track. You have to follow each other without crashing into each other. And yeah, Castro and Rob are clapping in their hands because the gap to those guys gets bigger now. Nick already 2.7 behind Rob. Rob out of DRS against Castro. Zhu trying to go down the inside, sticking the nose in. But Nick defending very well, taking the wider line. Getting a better exit here. And defending P3 from Professor Zhu. This is a proper DRS train. Led by Nick. Followed by Zhu, Walterby and Paul. It only comes down to the mistakes by these guys. But they're still quick enough to have that gap to scientists. And Walterby is now pitting. Walterby is trying to do the undercut on these guys. That could be a huge move by the champion of the Einstein League. Could be a huge move. Chappie also into the pits. Yeah, Nick and Zhu are fighting still, and while fighting, Zhu lost traction and ran into the wall pretty heavy with the right side of his car. No damage seen, but there must be damage. That was a hard hit. And that cost Nick also a little bit of time. And Walterby is the one who has pit for the undercut, and he's clean air. He's 5.3 seconds behind Eskimo. That's clean air for him, and he can push now. Now behind Castro, who's leading comfortably right now at the moment. But it's only lap 5 of 15. Only third of the race is done. And let's see what Walter is doing. Walter is closing that gap to Eskimo by over a second per lap. He's on a flyer. He's really, really quick at the moment. His goal has to be to get P3 back to undercut Nick, Paul, and Professor Zhu. Speaking of Paul, he's very, very close to Nick. Following through the quick chicane. Nick faking the pit stop, now going for the pit stop. Nick is going to cover, and Paul is staying out. Castro also into the pits. Like Rob, they smelled it. They smelled Walter B's strategy, and they are going to cover from that. Let's see where Walter B is coming out. He's now very, very close behind Eskimo. And he has to overtake him now on the main straight. He has to overtake him. Otherwise, his pit stop was for the ultimate bin. Staying on board with him. There is Rob. Does he get Rob? Oh my god, he overtakes Rob. What a undercut by Walter B. That's net P2. What a undercut by him. He's overtaken Rob with that early pit stop. That undercut was massive. What an in and out lap by Walter B. To steal P2 from Rob, his old teammate from the last season. Nick is now behind Eskimo. He had a bad pit stop. Professor Zhu down in P11 at the moment. Castro is our net leader in P5 at the moment. But let's see what Paul is doing, because he stayed out. He's still on softs. And he will have fresher mediums at the end of the race. Could play a huge factor when it comes down to having the fresher tires and traction, especially around here at Singapore. Staying here with Paul to see if he comes into the pits right now. And he has to come in, and he's coming in. Let's see where he comes out. Nick overtaking Eskimo. P8. Oh, they're fighting. Eskimo and Nick are fighting. Rawsome staying out. Spooner staying out. It's yellow flags in sector 3. I think that's Eskimo. Eskimo having some problems in sector 3. Walter B with the fastest lap. And they're through. Walter B and Rob and Castro already through. Let's see where Paul comes out. There is Nick. There is Paul. This is close. Paul behind Nick. So he hasn't gained anything, but at the same time, Nick hasn't gained a lot on pole with a lap earlier pit stop. Eskimo now into the pits, and we have Rawson and Spooner in P1 and P2 at the moment, but they still have to pit. Jumping on board with Walterby, who's been stalked by Rob, who's only half a second behind. And Rob now with the penalty. This is crucial. This is absolutely crucial. 3 seconds for Rob, 3 for Nico at the moment. Sector 3, yellow flags. It's an Aston Martin. Is it dirt on? It is dirt on. So Rawson and Spooner both started on mediums, so they can still go for a few laps. To have the softs on at the end and to push at the end, because the soft tyre is much better than the medium or the hard. So you can gain a lot of time by Castro putting in fastest lap after fastest lap. It's a 38.9. A big lap time by him. Let's compare fastest laps. 38 by Castro. Walterby not too slow too. Only a few hundreds away from Castro's fastest lap. But then there's a gap of almost half a second to the next quickest guy. But that doesn't interest us at the moment. What's more interesting is what Rob is doing against Walterby. He's going down the inside with the help of DRS, overtaking his former teammate. Now in P4, net P2, but with a 3-second time penalty. So if Walterby's just patient enough and stays behind, he just loses that one position from the start, finishing P2 and call it a day, which wasn't too bad for him. But of course, if you start on pole, you want to win it. But this race is not over. Only lap 8 of 15, so half of the race is done. A lot of things could still happen here. Castro's closing the gap to Spooner and Rawson. Only 3.6 at the moment, and Walterby is now stalking Rob. Eskimo is out of the race. Eskimo is out of the race, jumping on board with Nico to see maybe where Eskimo has ended his car, and it's on the right side in the wall. Maybe some oversteer on the exit of that corner, leading to snap into the wall. Horrible thing, of course. No safety car, only yellow flags, which doesn't help, in particular Rawson and Spooner, but it is what it is. Walterby faking some overtakes, but not going for it. Saving his ERS. Rob is down to 16%. Walterby around 60. So that's a huge advantage for him. If he's just clever enough, he stays where he is, because the gap to Nick is over 5 seconds. No threats from behind. Really good for Walterby, so he can just stalk Rob a little bit, make him use his ERS, and then attack at the right moment to get him. Well, it's all hypothetically at the moment. Spooner is closing the gap to Rawson, as is Castro to Spooner. German with a 3-second time penalty now in P15. And Castro's getting close, and Castro's worry at the moment can only be that he might lose a lot of time here, but Spooner's doing him a favor, and Spooner's going to pit now on lap 10 for soft tires. That means Rawson will pit on the next lap probably, or waiting for a safety car. Speculating on a Castro, only a second behind Rawson. He wants to have the DRS, but unfortunately I think it's not enough to overtake him on the main straight here. Oh, it's not the main straight, it's just the biggest DRS straight. No DRS for him. And now he has to follow Rawson for the whole lap with fresher mediums. So he has to do a very, very clever overtake, or no overtake at all, because this is pole position and Rob is 4.8 behind and he will gain now. So for Castro it's essential to overtake Rawson ASAP. Going on board to see how close this actually is. DRS now for Castro. He's trying to get a bit exit. That's a good exit. He's getting the lead. Let's see if Rawson fights it. He's not fighting it. Good overtake by Castro. Solid one. Brave one. Nice one. But as you can see, Rob closed that gap by over a second. He just closed it in by over a second within 2 sectors that Castro had to follow Rawson. Walterby still only half a second behind Rob. 54% of ERS. Rob up to 30. He could save a little bit. Well, of course, Walterby has more. Let's see if he can use it, or if he really has to use it, because Rob still has the 3-second time penalty. And Rawson is now in the pits. Let's see where he ends up. Castro back into P1, Rob P2, Walterby P3, Nick P4, Paul P5. Rawson is going down the order. Will, aka Wisburn, now up to P6. Very good race by him. He gained 12 positions from the start. D'Cunha P8, strong race by him, gaining 6 positions. Professor Zoo down in P7, of course, because of that damage he got. Oh, and Nick is going down the order against Paul, who overtook him with the help of DRS. Paul up to P4, and Nick down to P5. Let's see if Nick maybe has damage. Well, you can't see it. But yeah, Paul seems to be a little bit quicker than Nick at the moment, and he's making use of that by just simply overtaking him. Let's take a look at the tyres. We have Walterby on 5-lap-old mediums, Castro and Rob 4 laps old, Paul 3 laps old. So not huge differences. Should be all right. Spooner now overtaking Chappie up to P10 on fresh softs, and he wants to make them work now. He wants to gain a few positions more on these fresh softs. He has clean air of 2 seconds ahead of him, so he can just run down in his 5-lap sprint on soft tires. And Nick is sliding around. He has some overheating tires maybe, because that car doesn't look stable. That's a full car safety car. Scientist is pitting. Scientist coming into the pit. Spooner has to stay out. He's on fresh softs. He has to stay out. He's gaining now. He's gaining 1 or 2 places. Scientist pitting. Rawson is staying out, of course. Fresh softs for him too. So we got Scientist pitting. Chappie pitting. Yours coming in. He's on hards. Of course he's pitting. He has to pit. But more guys staying out. I think Mosh is staying out. Duran staying out. Nico also coming in. Changing his wing. Fresh softs. So this will be a very exciting finish to this race. Very exciting, especially in the midfield. And I know one guy who's in complete desperation mode at the moment, and that's Rob. Because with these 3 seconds of penalties, he can go down some places. The bad thing is for Castro that his gap to Rob is down to nothing. So he has to manage a very good restart, and he has to manage the lead, which is really, really important and difficult here at Singapore. So we got Rawson on fresh softs 1 lap earlier. We got Scientist, Chappie, and Nico, who all have pitted on this lap behind the safety car for fresh softs. The safety car is waiting behind turn 3, I think it is, on the first little part of the straights. Most importantly, of course, is not to violate the delta, stay in the positives, not to get a drive-through, which is the most horrible scenario that you could get now. And the only guys with penalties at the moment are Rob and Nico each. with 3 seconds to their names. Nice to see the green Aston Martin safety car here front. And talking about the safety car, it is already coming in on this lap. That means we will have a 2-lap thriller, a 2-lap sprint. Casto in the lead. Behind him, Rob, Walter B, Paul, Nick Wisbin, Professor Zoo, DeCunha, Spooner, Rawson. Giving you a quick look at the tyres. Spooner and Rawson on fresh softs in P9 and P10, Moshe on old mediums, and behind him, Scientist, Chappie and Yor on fresh softs. 3-second time penalty for Scientist behind the safety car. Could have gone better, but it is what it is, right? And Casto now weaving around and now making the pace. Accelerating, good restart by him, already half a second between him and Rob, and Walter B also had a good restart against his teammate, also half a second between him and Paul. Let's see if we have any overtakes here at the moment. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, we have one. Rawson is going down the order. He lost 2 places against Moshe and Scientist. Yellow flag, so bad one for Rawson. Maybe has damage. Chappie, Yor, Durdon and Nico, him, and Spooner trying to attack DeCunha in P9. Castro still in the lead, half a second in front of Rob. Then Walter, Paul, Nick, Wispen, Professor Zoo. Spooner trying to give it his all to get a few more places in, but of course DRS won't be activated. It's the penultimate lap. You have to give it all of your ERS, all of your driving skills, all of your tyres, everything which is still left. You have to unleash now. Castor with a 9/10 gap to Rob, pretty comfortable right now. But of course his heart rate will be up too, as he's in the lead and everything to lose. In P1 here at Singapore. Come around the last corner. Last lap for Casto. Last lap here around Singapore. We're quickly jumping to Professor Zoo, who's really close to Wisbon at the moment. Let's see if he gets a better exit. Yor for 3-second time penalty. And Spooner not close enough to DeCunha to get P8. So the safety car kind of destroyed Spooner's hopes to get more positions here. Jumping back to the top to Casto, to Rob. And bad news for Rob is with that 3-second time penalty, he goes down to P6 or maybe even P7. Spooner with the 3-second time penalty. Horrible news for him, but yeah, I think on the other side, good news because Sanchez also has that penalty and Moshe's 4.5 behind, which means he won't lose a place, but he's also unable to gain anything. Castro's still dominating here at Singapore. Last few laps, full focus, full concentration, everything in it. No mistakes allowed. Last few corners, last chicane. Getting that exit right. And now last corner for Casto. And Casto is winning the first race of Season 5 in the Einstein League. Ahead of Walter B, Paul, Nick, Rob, Wisburn, Professor Zoo, Decunia P8, Spooner P9, Scientist P10, followed by Moshe, Rawsome, and you're crossing the line right now. Chappie 3.8 behind. I think he won't catch him on penalties. That's P14 for Chappie. And that is the end of the Singapore Grand Prix. Wisburn getting the driver of the day, the Cold Masters driver of the day. But your winner tonight here at Singapore in race number 1 is Casto himself in the Alpine, snitching P1 from Walter B at the start. Beautiful result by McLaren, getting a P2 and P3 both on the podium. Paul gaining a few places at the start. I think he started in P7, finished in P3. Really good race by him, and making it a beautiful result for McLaren. Here are the final standings. Casto winning the race and also getting the fastest lap ahead of Walter B, Paul, Nick, Rob, Wisburn, Professor Zoo in P7, Decunia P8, Spooner P9, followed by Scientist, Moshe, Rawsome, Yor, Chappie in P14, Durdan and Nico in P15 and 16, German P17, Eskimo 18, Monmum 19. So I have to take a screenshot real quick. So I think you can only see a blue screen right now. I'm very sorry for that, but it's a must. So we saw that Wisburn got driver of the day by Colt Masters for gaining 12 places. You also have the chance in the Scientist Reverse Grid League to vote for your personal driver of the day in our channel, which is called Community Driver of the Day. So feel free to vote for your personal driver of the day. You're not forced to select the same one that Colt Master selected. Feel free in your votes, and you don't have to explain yourself. And with that, Singapore is finished. This stream will stay. We won't finish it and do another one. We stay in this stream. We have a little break now from around 10 to 15 minutes. Let's watch. Yeah, around 10 minutes. We'll back in around 10 minutes with our second race here in Mexico. So feel free to get a little break in. We will be back at 35. So don't get away for too long. Welcome back, everyone, to our second race here in Season 5 in the Scientist Reverse Grid League in the Einstein League. Second race of the night after the first one at Singapore. We're now here in Mexico, where we also will be in real life this weekend. And tonight, in the second race, the reverse grid comes into action, which means that Casto, who won in Singapore, will start pretty much at the back here at Singapore, where we will take a closer look at the grid in a few seconds, as soon as the guys are going on to the formation lap. As you can see, Durdon is starting in P1 after he was our last finisher at Singapore. Chappie is starting right behind him in P2 in his Mercedes. Yo in P3, followed by both Alvataris, Wilson and Moshe. Scientist P6 behind him, Spooner, Dacunia, Professor Zoo and Wisben. Rob starting in P11 and Nick P12. Both McLarens in P13 and P14, and our race winner Castor starting in P15. Nico, Herman, Eskimo and Mumram all DNF'd at Singapore, which means they will start at the back automatically. And Casto, as the first finisher in P1 at Singapore, will have the last position of all of finishers. So Mumram was the first one to DNF at Singapore, which means he will start right at the back in P19 in his Ferrari. Durdon getting some pace in here for his formation lap. He's seemingly not a friend of warming up his tyres in a slow way, staying in 6th gear, getting some pace, and already big gap to Chappie, who's slowing down a lot now to warm up his tyres. Big gap also between Professor Zoo and Wisben, and Walterby and Casto, and another one between Herman and Eskimo. So different strategies here on the formation lap. Durdon already taken over by AI, like Chappie now with jump into the back. Eskimo is not even in the stadium section. He's just entering the stadium section. And Durdon is already on the grid. So his tyres will be fucking cold at the start. Speaking of tyres, we can take a look at the tyre selection, and there we can see that Durdon and Chappie is starting on softs. Yo and Rawsome on mediums, Moshe, Scientist Spooner on softs, and Dacunia on mediums too. So a big mix here in the top 10. We have 3 guys on mediums, the rest on softs. And let's see if Yo and Rawsome have warmed up their tyres properly to get a good enough start and to get it done into turn 1 here at Mexico. 5 red lights are out right now. Coltmasters is letting us wait a little bit. And we go. We already see that an AlphaTauri had a good start. It's joining in the middle of the track to get some places there. Oh, and the guys are moving left, right, and center. And now it comes to turn 1. Late braking by Durdon not to get involved in any crashes. Oh, very tricky, very tight. And the first spin, and another spin, and another spin. 3 spins. AlphaTauri, Williams, and an Alfa Romeo, and a Red Bull. In Wisben, Yo and Nick, they all spun. Horrible. Absolutely bloody fucking horrible. Spooner up to P2. Overtaking Chappie. Oh, we have a Ferrari almost going round. That was Mumram, who almost lost his car there. Only losing positions. Oh, Walterby's out. Walterby is dead. Oh my god, he's in the wall. As you can see there on the right side, Walterby's in the wall. He's dead. He's DNF'd from the race. It's a nightmare for him and for McLaren. I wonder if there has been a touch or something, or if he just lost his car in the fast S section. Oh, and Wisbin going for a 60 overtake against Professor Zhu, but it seems like Zhu has damage to the left side of his front wing. He has. He's coming into the pits. So Zhu into the pits now. Nick also coming into the pits. Maybe also has damage. Yeah, he also has damage. Yeah, horrible start for Professor Zhu and Nick. And Nick DNF'd. Nick DNF'd in the pits. So he's had enough of Mexico after one lap. And Durdan still leading this race in his Aston Martin. Followed by Rob and Chappie, both in the Mercedes. Spooner lost a few places. He gained P2 just half a lap ago. What happened to him? Does he have damage? Can't see damage, but it doesn't mean he has anything. Sainz up to P4, so big result right now for Aston Martin and for Merc. P1 down to P4. Castro already with a penalty in P8. Oh, and Rob is attacking Durdan. Rob now in P1, going around the outside. Chappie doing the same. He's getting Durdan too. What an overtake by both Merc guys, and Chappie almost losing his car on the curb at the exit of the last corner. Rob with the fastest lap. Durdan still ahead of Sainz, but Spooner still in the shit mix. Spooner in the slipstream of Sainz up to P4. Durdan P5. We're jumping on board with him to see what's happening here. Spooner just faking down the... Oh, he's going down the inside, but only sticking the nose in. He's not committing the move. Oh, and Paul losing places. Down to P12 now. Oh, that was close. Durdan almost hit Spooner. Herman up to P6. Let's see position change. Herman gained 11 positions. Rob gained 10 from P11 to P1. What a start by Rob. And of course, the big loser right now at the moment is Yo, who went down from P3 down to P16. Someone else losing places. It's Nico. It's a yellow flag in Sector 2. In the Haas. Let's see if he only was off track or maybe also has damage. You can't see damage, but maybe there is some. Rob still in P1. Sector 3, yellow flags. I think that was Di Cunha in the Ferrari. Chappie with DRS faking the overtake against Rob, not doing anything at the moment. Well, the Mercs could just play it cool here. Stay behind each other. And just doing it properly, strategically. As we have Rawson, who's losing a lot of places there after turn 1, the chicane. He's down to P9 now. Eskimo up to P10. Mumram P11. They both gained 8 places. We had Wisp and Paul and Nico in the pits. And Eskimo gaining against Rawson. We have yellow flags in Sector 2. It's a Merc. It's Chappie. It's Chappie. What happened to him? Eskimo 3 seconds. The penalties are flying in this time. Singapore was very poor down to penalties, but now we already have 15 seconds of penalties overall. Herman with 3, Castro with 3, Eskimo 3, Wisbin and Nico 3. Oh, Spoon and Scientist are changing places because of the DRS. Good thing for Rob is 1.5 ahead of Spooner, which means no DRS for P2 right now. And if Rob can hold the gap, it's very, very good for him. Spooner already down on ERS, like Scientist, and Rob is there with 40%. So he can use his ERS in particular situations just to increase the gap and not to get in danger by Spooner getting DRS on him. But right now he's gaining and gaining on Spooner, almost 2 seconds now. Very good race, very solid race by Rob. A beautiful start. And now solid control. Doran with 3 seconds too. Casto just overtaken him with the help of DRS. But Casto is 2.5 seconds away from his teammate German. And he has Doran right behind him. But maybe he just got him out of the DRS. That would be huge for Casto. Let's see if Doran gets it. No, he hasn't. But Chappie will have DRS. And he will attack Doran down the inside. And there he goes. Chappie P6. Braking a little late there. Getting the corner. Getting the exit. And getting DRS again for the next straight. Which means P6 for Chappie. P5 for Casto. And Paul also with 3 seconds to his name now. So safety cars coming in, just off mic for a little cough session. Everyone is closed in, and Rob is leading the pace, and he's going now into the last corner using his ERS. Try not to give Scientist a big slipstream, but what happens here? Castor already overtaken Spooner, got a massive restart up to P3. Yellow flag 63, that's Wispen. Oh my god! What did I just saw? See? Whew. That was double pass. Oh my god, what was that? That was a massive dive bomb. That means that Doradon is up to P4 now. Chappie P5 and Spooner down to P7. Is trying to recover now. Got Yaw on his inside on soft. Ooh, a little clip. No stay. Spooner now P7. Rawson P6. Chappie P5. 3 seconds for Eskimo. 6 overall now. Paul up to P13, overtaking Professor Zoo. Casto very, very close behind Scientist, and Casto has to push as hard as he can. He's on softs, Scientist on mediums, Rob is on mediums, and Casto has 6 seconds of penalties. If he wants to get at least P2, he has to overtake Scientist, and he has to push very, very hard, and that's what he's doing now. In the slipstream of Scientist, not using any ERS, Scientist also not, but Casto is going for it, down the inside, using now his ERS to get the nose ahead. He's doing it. Scientist around the outside, backing off, not trying to do something experimental here. Casto P2. Rawson P5 against Chappie, who's down to P6. Your P7, who gained the position against Spooner. Spooner's going down more now. He's in P9. And we have Your against Chappie now. Your down the inside. Chappie's still there. Side by side. That was a clean move. Nicely done, boys. You're up to P6. Chappie P7. You're on softs. He's flying at the moment. Like Rawson. Like Casto. But Casto's over a second behind Rob. He has to close that down. He has to get within DRS. Sector 2. Yellow flags. Who is it? It's probably Spooner. Down to P12. Yeah, Spooner is losing positions here. P13. But Casto in a very good position now, maybe to attack Rob. 3 seconds for Awesome. Fastest lap by Casto. Casto is absolutely flying at the moment. 117.4. He wants to go for everything. Doradon pitting. Doradon in the pits. What the actual fuck? I thought he was in P5 or something. Spooner DNFing in the pits. Or is he in the pits? Where is he? Let's see if we can see him somewhere. We got Wisman here. On board with Wisman. Yeah, Spooner probably DNF'd in the pits. Jumping back to the top. What is going on? What is going on? We have Scientist in the lead. We have Casto 2.4 behind. And we have Rob, who spun. What the fuck is going on? Fucking hell! I missed that to watch Spooner DNF in the pits, and another spin by Rob! Horrible! Absolutely horrible! P8! Oh my god, complete the disaster for Rob and Mercedes! Scientist now in P1. Castle P2, let's see if he has maybe damaged his car. No, he hasn't. It doesn't seem like it. What the fuck just happened? Doradon with 11 seconds of penalties now. Casto closing in on Scientist now. So the win is still in the air. Chappie! What's happening to Chappie? Is he pitting or what? Chappie's pitting. Okie dokie. Back to the top. Casto's closing in. Only half a second behind Scientist. 4 laps to go, 4.5 laps to go. And he needs 3 seconds between himself and Scientist because of the penalty situation. Castro has to overtake Scientist on the main straight, and he has to have a gap between himself and Scientist of over a second within the next lap. Otherwise, there's no chance of winning that on track. 3/10. Castro quick. Castro with DRS. He's not using ERS. He's going down the inside. Easy move, staying away from Scientist. Going back to the racing line. He's allowed to. He's doing it. He won Castro. And now he has to give it his all. He has to use everything he has in the tank to get away from Scientist ASAP. 5 seconds for your counter cutting, gain 1 position. Probably against Moshe. Vicuña 3 seconds. But more interesting will be the battle here between Castro and Scientist. Castro has to use everything he has. And there is a second. The second between him and Scientist is there. Now he has 3 laps to get that gap up to 3 seconds. He has to push now. He has to give it his all. And Professor Zoo is still in the mix. 1.3 behind Paul and Rawson, but he has no penalties. No penalties. Which means P3 for him at the moment. Paul is getting closer to Rawson. He has no ERS left. Only DRS. Oh, that's close. That's close. Now he needs a good exit. Wisman losing positions there. Maybe a spin or something. DRS for Paul against Rawson. Maybe going down the inside. It's for position. He's going down the inside. He's braking late. Ooh, that's close. But they make it happen. No touch at all. Ah. Almost a snap. A big snap and almost a spin, but he saved it. Nice battle between Rawson and Paul here. Really, really nice to see. Yellow flags, sector 3. Who is it? Maybe Vicuña. It is Vicuña. Only he knows why. The gap between Castro and Scientist, 1.9. Now up to 2, 2.1. Sector 1. Yellow flags. It's a Red Bull. It could be Wisman. It is Wisman. He's ghosted. Maybe hit the wall. Not sure. You can't see the damage. But the gap is 2 seconds. 2 laps to go. He needs 1 more second. Castro needs 1 more second. Rob is just losing a position, but now we see why. He's pitting for softs. He's getting a fresh wing. Yeah, could be better for him. He's losing a lot of positions now. A lot of people are coming over the pit straight now. Rob just out of the pit box. His teammate will overtake him. Nico just coming around. Nico full speed now. Let's see if Rob is safe from him. Yeah, he is safe from him. Back to the closest battle on track. Paul against Rawson. Gap between Castro and Scientist, 2.6. Castro needs another 0.4 of a second. The gap is now to 2.8. 2.8. Scientist is using all of his DRS to put some pressure on Castro to show him that the gap is going down. Sector 1, yellow flags. It's Wisman who lost his car there. Staying off track. Not irritate Castro, that's good. Paul and Rawson. Rawson down the inside, defending, leaving enough space. Paul with DRS and a little bit of ERS left there. Oh, Professor Zoo is coming! Professor Zoo is coming! Oh my god, go down the inside. They touched a little bit, boys, making it happen. Oh my god, this is so fucking close. Oh, this is Wisconsin. Okay. No, this is Wisconsin. And now it's 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds between Castor and Scientist. It's all or nothing. It's all or fucking nothing. Castor has to nail the last sector. 3.1. They're giving it their all. No DRS or anything here. To 3.2. 3.2. Last corner by Castor. He has to nail it. ERS, everything. Castor coming around. Scientist, 3.2. That's not enough. It's Castor with the win. Scientist P2. Paul finishing P3. Professor Zoo right behind. He's going up to the podium. Paul P4. Rawson P5 at the moment. He will stay in P5. Mumram in P6. You're very, very close behind him. But you're with 11 seconds of penalties. And Moshe can gain a bit. Oh my god, Yo's going down the inside. That is so fucking close. Against Mumram. Mumram staying there. Don't crush, guys. Mumram backing off for the moment. But it's okay because he's getting the position back. Moshe P6. Mumram P7. You're P8 now. Eskimo crossing the line in P9. Chappie in P11. Yeah, Eskimo P10, Chappie P11, Dirt on P12. Nico just coming around the last corner, finishing P13, but Kunia right behind him will finish in P13 because of penalties. P14 for Nico. Oh my god, what a race. Casto with the Colt Masters driver of the day. Kind of deserved for that win. Just my opinion. You can vote for your personal drive of the day in the channel for the community drive of the day within the Scientist vs Grid League. And huge congratulations to Casto, who's winning that race, finishing in P1, Scientist in P2, Professor Zoo P3 behind him, Paul, Rawson, Moshe, Mumram, Rob, after a heartbreak of a race, he's securing the fastest lap for himself, which means an extra point. You're in P9, Eskimo P10, Chappie behind him in P11, Dirt on P12, Dicunia P13, Nico P14, and we're going to do a little screenshot, which means you see a blue screen right now. And we have to do another one for Wisben, who finished in P15, and Spooner, Geman, Nick, and Walterby, who DNF'd from this race here at Mexico. So that's a wrap, boys. That's 25% races in for tonight at Singapore and at Mexico. As you can hear, my voice is just going. Nothing left. So huge congratulations to Casto for 2 wins tonight. McLaren having a good night, scoring big points. Professor Zoo having also a very good night, scoring big points for himself and Haas. Very good driving tonight. A few crashes, a few ding-dongs, but that happens. It's the beginning of the season. People have to find their rhythm and their groove. We have a few new ones in, so all in all, it was a very, very good start to the season, and I hope it's just continuing like that. I hope to see and hear you all next week again for our second weekend, which means race 3 and race 4 here in the Einstein League at 8:45, streaming on YouTube as always. So take care, stay healthy of course, and have a nice weekend. Good night.